It would be better if we never needed those medications. But we live in a toxic world.
Because I know you're always very enthusiastic about Ozempic and Mounjaro. But I recently read that some manufacturers are sued over claims of stomach paralysis as a side effect of those molecules. And I know you're very much experienced with those drugs. So, what do you think about that?
Definitely. So there was a report of a woman, I think she was out of Toronto, that went to the hospital for gastric paralysis. In medical term, it's called gastroparesis. Gastroparesis or gastric paralysis, it is when your GI system, starting from the intestine, the small intestine, going into the big intestine and into the anus, that it doesn't move food as well. Because the way we digest food is that as soon as we take food, it goes into the stomach. You chew it, it comes into small pieces, and then the stomach has to move it. I'm sorry, it moves from the stomach into the intestine, and the intestine has to have motility to move that mass of food down into the anus until it's expelled. So gastric paralysis is when that movement does not happen efficiently enough. Well, GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, that's how they exert their appetite suppressant effect. Is that it delays digestion, it delays gastric emptying, and decreases that movement. So it is effectively a functional decreased movement of your digestion. So that's why one of the side effects of those medication is fullness, nausea, a sense of acid reflux, and even vomiting if you're eating the wrong things. So when I see my patients, I always tell them this, that one of the side effects of those medication is that it's going to slow down your digestion. It's good and bad. It's good because you're going to feel fuller faster. It's going to get you to decrease your appetite, decrease your caloric intake, but we don't want it to start causing side effects. If it goes into that side effect, yeah, we need to address it. So I've had patients who called me and like, doc, especially when we go to the higher doses, they had more nausea, they had some vomiting. If that happens, I completely start changing my treatment. I will decrease the dose, have them take a drug holiday. Very important supplements like magnesium, colon cleansers like psyllium husk. I always put my patients on GLP-1 with those because it helps to prevent that. Because you want to take the benefits of a slowing digestion, but not let it get to a problem of gastric paralysis. And um, gastroparesis is actually the number one cause of gastroparesis that is diabetes. Diabetes affects the small nerves of the intestine, and one of the main complications of diabetes is gastroparesis. So if you use that medication of GLP-1 like semaglutide or tirzepatide into a long-term diabetic patient who most likely already had pre-existing nerve damage and some delayed gastric emptying, those patients are at higher risk of having gastroparesis. But for example, I read the case of that patient, not the case, just the article that was available. And I see that this patient went to the hospital 6 times with vomiting, and they kept her on the medication. To me, that's not what I do. If I have a patient that's experiencing side effects, you decrease the dose, you counsel them on better nutrition, you add the right supplements, and if the symptoms persist, you take that patient off of that medication. And if you can see, those medications now being used by hundreds of millions of patients. In the US, you can't even find those medications. They're always on back order. It's hundreds of millions of people using it. And there's one or two reports of this. So it's not impossible, but it's very rare.
Okay.
So, everybody here takes Tylenol, paracetamol, right? Everybody takes that. The risk of liver failure with paracetamol or Tylenol is much higher. It's almost to the level of, I don't remember exactly now, but 5 to 8% of patients may have liver dysfunction because of paracetamol or Tylenol.
Mhm.
It's still that's even a high number. But still, we use those medications. You have to weigh the risk and benefits. The GLP-1 medications, the risk of gastric paralysis is extremely small. It's a once in a while. We have that proverb. C'est l'exception qui confirme la règle. The exception confirms the rule. So you are going to have a few patients who are going to have those horrible side effects. It's unfortunate. What they should have done with this patient, again, this is not medical advice, But if that was my patient, from the first time she called me and she told me I'm vomiting and having side effects, I would have told her stop, restart at the lower, stop for 4 weeks, restart at a lower dose. Let me know if you have more side effects. If you have side effects a second time, this is not an appropriate medication for you. Let's look for an alternative.
Mhm.
So side effects can always be there, but just because they are very rare side effects of a medication, we should not throw away that class of medication as a whole. Because one criticism I hear a lot about GLP-1 is that we don't know what the long-term side effects are. I disagree with this. GLP-1 medications have been in use and FDA approved for diabetes since 2005. I've been using GLP-1 medications on my diabetic patients since 2007, 2008, because I waited a few years to see that they were safe and I started using them. My 90% of my type 2 diabetic patients are on a GLP-1 medication. And I've had patients on them for 15 plus years because this is the best way of treating diabetes. One of the ones I used to use the most, it's called exenatide or Bydureon. It's a GLP-1. It does not cause a lot of weight loss. It causes a lot of improvement of insulin resistance. Most of my patients have been on this for 12, 15 plus years. I've never had an issue with this. So yes, Ozempic came out in 2017. So we only have 6 years of experience with Ozempic. Mounjaro came out in 2021, only 2 years of experience. But we can base ourselves with the 18 years of experience that we've had with GLP-1 in the use of diabetic patients. And same thing, it's millions of patients who've used this. The way we know a drug is safe is when it's been used for more than 5 or 10 years by millions of patients. That's the only way to know if a drug is safe. Even if
Mhm.
a drug becomes FDA approved, you get FDA approval with a few hundreds or a few thousands patients over a few years. So that to me does not tell me that it's a safe drug. I'm going to give you an example of a weight loss medication that this happened to, Meridia. Meridia became approved, I think, in early 2000. It was a weight loss medication that was a neurotransmitter. It was kind of in that class, and it came out with a lot of fanfare. The studies were great. The FDA approved it, and it was supposed to be a chronic management for obesity. Within 7 or 8 years, it showed that it increased the risk of heart disease and stroke. I never use Meridia because I never use a weight loss medication until I see 10 years of experience. So within 8 years, it was recalled despite being FDA approved. Because once millions of people took it, if it's a zero point 0.2 or 0.3%, you'll see a lot of cases. So they took it off the market, which was the right thing to do. GLP-1 medications have been out since 2005. So we have 18 years of experience. Hundreds of millions of patients take those medications, and the risk of side effects, the incidence of side effects, has been very small. I'm not saying zero, but it's been very small. Are they using them a lot more in the EU now? Because I
Yeah,
see it,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. The last few years, it has been in the papers. Everyone is using them now. Every doctor is prescribing it now. Ozempic and yeah, Mounjaro.
Mounjaro, yeah. Those are magical, really game changer medications. When I talk to some people, they're like, well, they should try to lose their weight naturally. We've had those discussions so many times. Of course, should we be on testosterone? Should we be on Ozempic? It would be better if we never needed those medications. But we live in a toxic world. Even if sometimes, you need to try as healthy as you want. Sometimes you still have metabolic derangements. So if you have those, I'd rather that we have an effective tool that's overwhelming safe to help improve those metabolic derangements. Because what are the number one and two causes of death in the developed world? Number one, it's heart disease. Number two, cancer. And all of those start with metabolic derangements. So the
Mhm.
more you can use tools to help you keep better metabolism, better fat to lean muscle ratio, all of those things will help us long term with better health. So I'm excited about those medication. The new GLP-1 called triple G or retatrutide, the studies are even more amazing. So we're having tools to help patients deal with issues that they never were able to control before. So to me, this is an exciting time of medicine. Of course, we always have to consider the possible side effects. But if a patient works with an experienced provider who can first, you need to tell them that those are side effects, what to look for, and what can you do to mitigate those side effects, minimize those side effects, and maximize the benefits. If you do this, you'll do well.
Check out my TRT workout split or the ebook The Ultimate Guide to TRT Cream. Links to the merchandise shop in the description.